I think I have a statement rather than a question. I would like to know why more of us here and across the country and in every state aren't thinking more independently. We're Americans. We live in the best country in the world, on the face of the planet. And why do we automatically turn to government when things get tough? I have my own business. I'm a musician. There's no work. I can tell you, there's no work. My husband's also self-employed. We have an adult handicapped son. And we're not asking for any help. And I would like to know why this bill, from what I've read of it, is creating a whole new class of poor people. Is this really what we want in this country? Can we afford it? I don't know who's paying for it. I can't afford to pay for it. For instance, $30 million for National Endowment of the Arts. I'm an artist, but I'm against this. I'll find my own work somehow. I'll get by. I don't believe in this. $380 million for the Senate bill for the Women, Infants, and Children program. I understand what that is. Years ago, I was on that program. $150 million for the Smithsonian. $650 million for digital TV coupons. $90 million to educate vulnerable populations. $350 million for the Agriculture Department computers. $44 million for repairs to Department of Agriculture headquarters. $88 million to help move the Public Health Service into a new building. $600 million for NOAA, which is climate modeling. I could go on and on. Is all of this necessary?
Well, again,
the other day on an address that he talked about the insurance industry, and he talked about taking the insurance lobbyists on, saying, you know, I'm ready for you. That's part of the problem, you know. I think it was President Reagan that tried to transfer programs back to the states, but he wasn't successful because the lobbyists didn't want to lobby in 50 different states. So in a sense, Washington, D.C. is a lobbyist dream come true because they don't have to go out to 50 different states. And we've seen time after time after time where an administration has had the right attitude and the right program, but then all of a sudden something happens. And by the time that bill is passed, it's pretty much what the lobbyist industry, that lobbies in behalf of that industry, has been managed to do. So the President, I give him credit, has addressed that issue that we need to do what the American people want us to do as opposed to the lobbyist industry. Having lived and worked in the Beltway, you don't know how difficult it is for people like the congressman to see this huge government, this huge country we have. You know, people were fearful of collapse. Maybe the congressman knows more than I do. Our GNP was something around 16 trillion or 13 trillion dollars. The closest GNP is Japan at 4 trillion. If you take that and all the assets that the federal government has, every park, every building, every piece of gold in Fort Knox, every ship, everything that they own, do you know what this country's worth? And that in and of itself is where we are strong. And something like this, with a bill like this, we can handle it. And we can commit our government and our people and our enterprise because we're bigger than anybody ever saw.
You don't need to be double. You don't need to be double.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're the second person, and I've been with the congressman last week, and the moderator of that conference admitted it. For 3 days, he read the stimulus bill, porculus, and he didn't finish it. One, you admitted people are still working on interpretations of this bill. Therefore, there was no thought on how this bill should be done. I asked the congressman how he could vote for this bill without reading it.
Right.
gave me an answer that they had been working on this thing for months. This is true, but all the little bits of pork which were included in this bill got stuck in and out of it. Some lost, others won. There was no thought. Yes, some of these programs are something we need, but all of them in one bill, pushed through the way it was, is shameful. And you people in Washington ought to be ashamed of yourselves. Now, I'm just asking one favor, Congressman. You said you listened to the people. Well, here's what we're asking you. You're going again with a new budget. There's lots of pork in that bill. Please, don't overload us again. As I told you last week, you've already loaded so much on our children and grandchildren that we don't know how we're going to pay for it. So please, take back to Washington and don't give us, well, Senator McCain's advisor, Senator McCain voted against the bill. Okay? So I don't need to hear that his advisor said a little bit of pork is good. Thank you.
Your name, please, sir?
I'm Joe the voter from Woodbury.
Hi, Congressman. My name is Kurt Carr. I met you last week. This is my second visit, and I thought it might be good to air the idea that I had for you last week. I think everybody here is hurting. That's
One more question, and I'll stick around for a while for people.
My name's Tom Moss. I'm from Enfield, Connecticut. Well, I got more than one question, but this stimulus, it's 800 million?
Billion.
Or 800 billion, rather. And, I mean, I'm not for this because, as you said, I wasn't part of this problem. I didn't overextend myself. I didn't borrow shit I couldn't pay back. But you guys already lost $350 billion to the banks and you can't account for it. And now you want us to feel warm and fuzzy about this one. And you got another $350 billion from that last $700 billion ready to go to the banks. God only knows where that's going to go. And then there's another $350 billion in the new budget, the $1.7 trillion budget. Is there more in there for the banks too?
Again, the summary that we've gotten suggests that there was a $250 billion proposal there. Again, with very
Plus the $700 billion.
Correct. Which again, Tom, I voted against. You know that.
Yeah, I understand that. And you know, I mean, I'm probably a lot more conservative than you. I'm not Republican or Democrat. But yeah, I appreciate you not voting for the bailing out of Wall Street. But the thing that it really strikes me funny here is there's $800-something billion out there for this, and Connecticut got less than $3 billion. Okay, and then the other thing is you guys are gave away $35 billion to a bank the other day, and these poor bastards out here, you're going to loan them $35,000. Okay, how does that seem fair? Let the bank go. I mean, you know, the little banks ain't getting the money. It's only the big guys. It's the guys that got political clout in Washington. Okay? Apparently these poor guys, they don't got clout in Washington. Because they're only getting 35 grand. And that's wrong. That's totally wrong. So, you know, this is a bag of crap that you got here. You can sprinkle sugar on it. As far as a politician, I like you. I do. Last time I gave you.
Yep, I remember.
Okay, but you know, this is. You know, you dress this up however you want. It's still a bag of crap. And the only people that are going to get fat on this are the guys that are already fat. The bankers, you lost $350 billion. The bank stubbed their nose at you and said, "I tell you where that went." And now you're going to give them more. You know, somebody, you know, we already, you know, this is no offense to you, but you guys don't know what you're doing. My kids, when I was growing up, I didn't qualify. I mean, my kids were growing up, I didn't qualify for any any of this welfare, health insurance and shit, because I had a house. If I wanted to take money, I gotta give up what I got, you know? So now, these guys are asking me for health care, and that should be first on your list. The small business guy that needs to, because that's a big thing where I work, is the health care. Yeah, you're giving away billions upon billions of dollars to guys that are putting it in their pockets and putting it in Cayman banks. You know, like I say, this is just wrong, and